Mr Speaker.
Brett Hudson.
Thank you, Mr Speaker. I think it's fair to say that we all enter this House to achieve very important things. I mean, some of us may enter here with views around economic development, around education, health, other areas of social justice. What we have the opportunity to do here, Mr Speaker, is to do some really important, very great work, in fact, around helping to protect our children, helping to keep them safe. I think it is part of very much of the idea of what brings us all together into this House. I'd like to follow on from what my colleague has said, with particular emphasis about making sure that our laws are keeping up with modern society and the tools that we're using today. But firstly, let me just note, I mean, this bill is about implementing an action plan to increase penalties for producing, trading or possessing objectionable publications. New Zealanders deserve to feel safe in their homes and in their communities. And this government is definitely building a safer New Zealand. At the moment, crime in New Zealand is at a 35-year low, but that didn't happen by accident and it won't continue by chance. It's only through vigilance and ensuring that our legislation is keeping up to date with modern methods and modern modes of communication in particular that we can ensure that. So the part I wanted to really focus around was around the information age. And so the provisions in this bill make it clear that in the Classification Act that possession of objectionable material includes intentionally viewing material over the internet, including without consciously downloading it or saving it. One of the great things, of course, about the internet, Mr Speaker, is it's given the population, most of the population, incredible access to information that some years ago, certainly a decade or more ago, was much harder to source. That gives people a lot more power in their day-to-day business and the way when they trade with or buying things, whether they do so over the internet or in shops. But what it does do, it also proliferates a lot of material that many people find quite objectionable, and the areas of pornography and particularly child pornography are very prevalent, or held to be very prevalent. So it's extremely good that what we are doing with this bill is ensuring that our law enforcement agencies and our judicial system can adjust and adapt to the fact that the way people are viewing this sort of material today is perhaps a great deal different from when this sort of legislation was first enacted and last amended. But just before I go on to some heart of that, it was not without some irony that I noted before on the Judicature Modernisation Bill that members had about half a tree sitting on their benches, because it seemed a bit odd that if we're talking about modernising something that we would be killing trees to be able to display it. I would have thought that tablets would have been better, and probably not tablets of stone either, but tablets connected to the internet. So today, as has been canvassed, offenders can access objectionable material in any sort of form, any sort of speeds over the internet. And in fact, the problem here is that by possessing that material, it actually creates a market for further production and proliferation. This House has heard and other matters about peer-to-peer networking and file sharing technologies and services. So once an individual has sourced this material from the internet, actually possessing it makes it a lot easier to share it and spread it around, which is of course something we don't want to be seeing. So it's very, very good in fact that we are making sure that we're capturing not only people that download material, also people that consciously view it, but take some measures to ensure they don't save it onto their local machine where of course it can be more readily detected. It's also very important that we're including tools such as social networking sites, texting and other forms that make it easier, particularly for adults, to communicate with children to exploit them. So, sir, I'd just like to finish by saying this is a wonderful bill and I commend it to the House.
This debate is interrupted and is set down for resumption next sitting day. The House stands adjourned until 2 p.m. tomorrow.